Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic, and I want to welcome you to my channel, Opinion Stated, where I give unfiltered, opinionated sports takes. Let's go. Yo, what's good? I had plans today to just watch the game, but then I decided, man, you know what? I'm going to go live during, you know what I'm saying? So here we are. I have invited onto the stream my little bro and the homie CW from GoCast Hoops. I am going to simply give my opinions throughout, etc., and commentary. So far in the game, score is 6-8 on a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander bucket. Denver leads by 2 points here in the game. I got my snacks ready. I got a beer over here. Man, I'm ready to get it in. Christian Brown, 7 early point. Hardenstein dunked down the middle. 11-8 is the score. Glad to see Aaron Gordon suited up in this one. Doing the most though.
There's a lot of players that haven't shown up in this preseason. But look at Aaron Gordon. He is limping, trying to give his best. Look, he's not going to make an excuse. He knows what's going on. And even there, he's taking it to his teammate because he won't explain. He feels so much credit in the locker room.
Jokic has lined up down the first free throw. Understatement of the year, I feel like. Obviously, in saying that both teams need this game here. This one decides who moves on to the Western Conference Finals. An incredible season for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Not a disappointing season for Denver. They've certainly made the best of it. A bit of a roller coaster ride and taken all year. Denver certainly going to need a bit of scoring from Michael Porter Jr. today, I think. And whatever he can provide. My bad. Man, those kettle chips are crazy. Super good. So good game so far. Good first quarter matchup. I'm gonna add the scoreboard as we go about to allow for the score to be displayed after each quarter. You get the first quarter score, second quarter, obviously it gets up to halftime, third quarter score. And then from there, I'll post the final score, give my insights, man, take on, you know what I mean, the game at large and kind of what, you know, kind of in summation, my thoughts are. And then we'll let that be that. You know what I'm saying, from there. Lou Dort, no foul call there? Jokic totally got that guy. No? 14-8, Denver lead so far early in the first, or midway through the first quarter. 7 minutes and counting. It's 1 o'clock where I am. It's totally cool to be drinking a beer at this point. Pouring a little fade. Oh, an active Gordon in there. But yeah, clearly I expect the MVP kind of a performance today from Shea and also from Jokic. I almost thought the NBA was going to hold this game specifically to award the MVP, to create more drama or create some personal feelings, maybe a bit of negativity from the player who wasn't awarded the MVP. That would have been great. I didn't watch the pregame show, so if that actually did happen, you know what I mean, then I'm a prophet. I thought it would be the greatest time to do so, considering they haven't awarded the award as of yet. But either way, both these stars, the leaders of these teams respectively, have had great seasons. Very much so deserving of the award, whichever one is to win it. As I said, the episode that I got up early this morning, every year you can kind of look at this player got robbed, et cetera. Is valid in a multitude of seasons historically throughout the NBA. 7 early points for Jokic. So like I said, I'm expecting a big game from him. Christian Brown so far with 9 points in the game. Oklahoma City only 8. So Christian Brown has outscored Oklahoma City to this point by himself until Shea Gilgeous-Alexander comes down and says, "Hold my beer." Scoop to the rack. 18-10 score. And one. Aaron Gordon.
And Gordon's first bucket, he already has 5 rebounds. And back to double-digit lead for Denver. And these are the moments where you get to find out. Normally that's a lot done. But again, you forget that AG is 6'8", 245 pounds. The man is strong. He's physical.
Woody, what's good, brother?
Just by positioning, not just using his athleticism.
Stuffing my face with a scone right now. Well, just wanted to go live during this game here. Trying to talk through what I'm seeing, et cetera, man. I agree with you 100%. The Nuggets have definitely been here before in this game, so I give the edge to them in the Game 7, obviously. As I said in the episode that I got up earlier today, you don't really know how to do it on this level until you get on this level. And so Oklahoma City still has to prove, obviously, that they can win in a game of this magnitude. No better time like the present to do so. Presently, they are down 21-10 in this game, man. But, yeah, the Nuggets have done this before. Experience always gets the edge, so I agree with you 100%.
Denver's defense at times this season will be very underrated. Gordon has turned into a superb defensive player. Brown as well. And a timeout call by the Nuggets. A perfect start on the road in a Game 7.
Man, so the Nuggets are definitely looking like, the team that came in ready for this kind of a situation. As we say, they've been here before. You know what I mean? This is what they do. So, They know how to get it done, especially, man, in a game such as this one. But it remains to be seen what happens, obviously, throughout the entire game. And they're off to a great start. Again, as I was saying, I'm glad to see that Aaron Gordon is playing in this game. You know what I mean? I was really concerned that he wouldn't play clearly. I'm like, man, I may have to write them off if Aaron Gordon can't go, because not just his potential for offense and offensive production, but also because of what he gives them on the defensive end. You know, so really, really, really glad to see that he is available here. Let's see if I can adjust this camera some.
That's a big perk. Hey, perk. Fee-free banking and early access to your pay is like being at Granny's house on a Sunday.
But yeah, man. So I just wanted to go live during this game to, like I said, man, just kind of weigh in on what's happening, what I see. And to also give myself a real-time reaction to the potential, I feel like, in this game, which is that the young Oklahoma City Thunder could, you know, obviously be taking a step toward the next pivotal, you know, step and critical step in securing a championship this year after a remarkable season. You know, clearly Denver has a beautiful storyline brewing with having to, you know, have let go of Mike Malone, or having the team let him go anyway. And, you know, having this interim coach in Adelman, you know what I mean? Like, for them to be on the brink of competing for a championship, or at least for winning the West, is crazy. It's really, really good storylines brewing all the way around the board. Even in the Eastern Conference, you know, for, you know, Brunson and for Halliburton to have their teams respectively, you know what I mean, in the fight still is incredible. For the Knicks specifically, as I was saying, man, the Knicks are able to secure a championship this year. Man, they'd be in some living legendary status. You know what I'm saying? Like Brunson would anyway, living legendary. This guy would be, you know, a god to New Yorkers, man. So that would be incredible to see. Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers, I feel like, are definitely the biggest underdogs, you know, in this in of the potential Final Four. And so for them to win a championship, man, they will be mind blowing, like, wow, you know, but definitely a feather for Halliburton, for Rick Carlisle, who is a championship coach, so he knows how to get it done in that regard. But yeah, a lot of really, really good storylines brewing, man. Even still here in this Western Conference, to look at Ant and you know, the Minnesota Timberwolves and what the Julius Randle trade has meant for them and to them. You know what I mean? Coming up, man, that will be something. Woodage says if OKC loses, they'll go after a true point guard and move SGA to the 2. Yeah, Woodage, I agree. I think that for as much as I've appreciated the moves that Oklahoma City made this year, the one thing that I know for sure, is that the addition of, or rather the subtraction of Josh Giddey, you know what I mean? Like, taking Josh Giddey out of the mix was crazy. You know what I mean? So that kind of put the ball into Shea's hands to have to orchestrate the offense more. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that Shea's he clearly handled it, you know what I mean, running the one, you know, that way. But I would like to see him for sure, you know, be able to settle into, you know, just kind of getting into his flow of offense and not having to necessarily initiate the offense. Little bro, what's good? You there? Freezing. But yeah, I'm joined on the stream by my kid brother, literally. IQ. SGA is in a similar spot as Jordan was in 89, 9% in 01. What do you mean by SGA being in a similar spot? It's Jordan in 89 and Iverson in 01. You mean by being young and having a chance to get his team over the hump? Oh, ball in his hands too much. Yeah, I agree. 100%. My little bros trying to get a stream together, I suppose. I'll be right back. Give me just a second. For show. 21-10 is the score still presently. Ooh, Chet. Top floor. 21-12 is the score here in the closing minutes of the first quarter. Denver on top, down by 9. Yeah, they're gonna pretty much give Christian Brown, it seems like, man, the free reign to do what he wants to do in this game. You'd rather Christian Brown or one of the others take all the shots than to have Jokic and Murray kill you. So I can understand that as a defensive kind of an approach. Little bro, can you hear me? Fucking Westbrook and these turnovers, man. Westbrook's a turnover machine, this guy. Damn, no foul call on for Chet going to the basket? That's crazy. Yeah, 2 folks hanging all over him for sure. Jokic operating from the nail over to the turnover machine. Gets it back to Jokic out top. Oh, Caruso came in. Yeah, you want to give Russ that shot. You definitely want to give Russ that shot. You're not concerned about him knocking down a 3 of any kind. Case and Wallace on the transition dunk. Down to a 7-point game, man. 21-14 is what I see. Little bro, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, there you go. What's good? What's going on? Okay, I guess he checked out again. Let me get a stream together. But yeah, definitely a decent game so far, man. I can't complain with what I'm seeing. Just under 2 in the first. You want to give Russ as many jump shots as you can. If he makes them, he makes them, man. Thunder are younger, healthier, faster, and bigger than the Nuggets. Should be blowing them out, which I agree. The youngest are definitely, when the Nuggets can play their style of basketball, that is being able to get up and down, they're a dangerous team, but with Denver controlling pace and just playing a more slow down, style of play, that certainly benefits the Nuggets over Oklahoma City. So if they can't get out and run, being the younger, faster team, then they're at a disadvantage, man, clearly, because in the half-court set, they're just not as effective. Not that they cannot score, but they're a much more fluid team when they're getting up and down and setting the tone in that way. But yeah, Denver's definitely taking their time here, trying to score it the way that they want to score it, which plays into their favor also because you're melting clock. You know what I mean? And kind of just doing it your way. That was a really weird entry pass. Was that another Russell Westbrook turnover, man? This dude, Russ. I swear this guy's a turnover machine, man. It's wild. Yeah, I don't really understand the Caruso matchup out top. I like that the Thunder are switching to just kind of have Caruso just be a pest underneath so that Jokic can't put it on the floor. Man, the Oklahoma City Thunder are definitely killing on the offensive glass right now. And they cut this lead down to 5 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Yeah, so Caruso being able to get under Jokic is definitely a really pesky move defensively. So that's the only reason that I can see them wanting to do so. It's like, man, just be a disruptor for Caruso, you know what I mean, in this game, which I think, I don't know how effective it'll be for 4 quarters, but it seems to be effective right now. Yeah, it is what it is. No, that's true. That's true. Woody says that OKC has more big guys to throw at Joker on their bench if they play him, and that is true. But I feel like when you bring in a bunch of the bigs, obviously it puts you in a position to then have to play or allow Jokic to play the game that he wants to play. You know what I mean? Being matched up against other bigs. And so if you don't do that, then what it does is it forces Jokic to play a bit outside of whatever may be comfortable in his mind. You throw those bigs in, and they're just kind of subject to whatever Jokic does to them. You know what I mean? Offensively, man. So they're just kind of defensively in there at his mercy. And that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on the kind of night that Jokic is having. You know, you're talking foul trouble at that point, playing the free throw game. It can be disastrous. But again, it stands to reason why they put Caruso on Jokic outside of having to be a disruptor, as we've seen him, do so far. So that might be a good strategy. Well, we'll have to see how it continues to play out. Clearly, like I said, it's he hasn't stopped. Jokic has 7 points in the game, so hasn't been the thing that's completely stopped him from scoring, even though he's gotten some shots off putbacks and stuff like that. But we'll see how effective that strategy is for keeping Jokic from just being able to operate and function in the high post to set up his teammates. You know what I mean? Which might be the kind of disruption that they want, because a lot of times from that screen and roll, you'd see Jokic, just kind of dribble his man, into the paint a bit to set up his teammates also. So with Caruso kind of staying under him and being feisty, and maybe another defender that they'll bring in doing the same, it might prevent that kind of thing from happening here in the game. Might be the disruption that's necessary. Yeah, man. That's Kobe's the guy. I'm not a Laker fan by any stretch of the imagination, man. But I'm a Kobe fan. I have Kobe on one side, and let's see if I can get this tripod to tilt here. And I got Melo, on the other side. So, two of my guys, man, who could certainly, fill it up and get it done. And yeah, man, the Bean is sorely missed for what he brought to the game of basketball. Certainly revered for being able to do it on a high level. His career was legendary, and long live Kobe in that regard. Yeah, certainly, man, sorely missed. No, I've never owned a pair. I've never owned a pair of Melos. I couldn't even tell you what Melo's shoes actually look like. If I saw somebody in a pair, I wouldn't even be able to identify him, bro. I've never owned a pair of Melos. Ever. But here they come, man. Oklahoma City's cut this lead down to 3 points. So I didn't expect them to roll over in this game. I certainly do not expect them to roll over in this game. Either team, both of them know what's at stake. This game is the season, man. So this is one of those games where you just leave it all on the court. There's nothing else. I mean, what you gonna do in the offseason? But work out and prepare for the next season. So yeah, man. If it's not going all out, then yeah, there's nothing. Oh, down 1 point, 26-25, actually. This thing's skipping. My stream is skipping here. There's the lead. Nope. Or close. Yeah, looks like they poised to take the lead here. And one. There it is. And there's the lead. And so I feel like, the first team always comes out, man, punches the other team in the mouth. And you can withstand that initial run, that early shock and all. You know what I mean? The hype from the other team, especially with Denver being on the road, they needed to be the team that came out and hit first. You can't afford to fall in a hole on the road, get that crowd, crazy involved that way. But Oklahoma City's weathered the storm. They were down 11 points at one point, 21-10, I believe was the score. And so they're on one hell of a run right now. They're on a 17-6 to a 17-5 run. We know that Denver struggles when Jokic is not on the court. So, Jamal Murray will definitely have to establish himself here. Oh, my gosh, man. Yep, the weird turnovers, man. Always do it. 27-26 is the score in the game. Oklahoma City up 1. Yeah, they ready now. Hardenstein. They got that home crowd going, man. They got that home crowd going. But yeah, as I was saying, man, I expected this to be a good game. Severely disappointed, obviously, in the Boston showing from a couple of nights ago because I expected, at least some more fight. You know what I mean? Than they actually showed in the game. But I guess the brothers were tired, man. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So they get the rest of the off season to relax, and lick their wounds, and regroup. I'm saying, let's see. But yeah, the Thunder, the Thunder, I agree, man. Like when they are in a space to utilize their size on the offensive end, you know what I mean? Like they're definitely at an advantage. And that's kind of running that double big with Chet and also with Hardenstein. Yeah, so they will do a lot of kind of lobs to the basket and stuff like that for him, which makes sense, right? With the length. Chet's not very heavy, you know what I'm saying? So he can stand to gain some pounds. But yeah, the length itself is enough to be an advantage for them, I'll say. How they allow that, or how they continue that is sort of up to them. You know what I mean? If they want to take advantage of it or see it as an advantage for them that should be taken advantage of. No, those are two totally different things. So we're talking 26-29. First quarter score here, man. Great game so far. I'm going to get the scoreboard up here on the screen, as I said. Wait, 10:27 a second. Man, my stream is way behind the YouTube TV. What type of time y'all on today? You guys are way behind. According to the ESPN app, it's 10:27 in the second quarter. But neither here nor there, man. Yeah, so entertaining first quarter. Looked like the Nuggets, came out focused, incredibly focused, sticking to their game plan and running. The way the style of offense, I'll say, that they wanted to play. And the young Thunder withstood that early punch. And man, so we have it. They are presently in the lead. Man, Pacers next game won't until Wednesday. Wow. I remember, there was years ago, there was 40 games and 40 nights in the playoffs. It was like a game every day, at least one. I don't know what happened, man. What happened to those days? Bring back those days. You add the scoreboard here. They cannot afford to go down big, man. So, yeah, putting Murray and Jokic back in the game makes sense. And Jamal Murray's not having an explosive beginning to this game. I know one thing's for certain, two things for sure. They can definitely not afford to have a bad game from Jamal Murray. But with SGA out of the game, Jokic and Jamal Murray in the game, settle down this team a little bit more until SGA comes back. I'm gonna have to try and knock down. I'm gonna have 2 images pop up there. Momentarily, bear with me. Let's get that scoreboard up there. Get that out of there. All right, YouTube TV, man. How y'all going at? Where I am in the game, it says 32-29, man. But ESPN, with their updates, well, they have it at 8:19 also now. Okay. Might be back on point. Looks like I'm about 20 seconds off. Yeah, so the youth looks like it's showing up right now, man. Just in their activity around the offensive glass. Denver needs to tighten up. They have a bunch of offensive rebounds so far, man. I don't even have to look at the stats to understand that. And there was almost another one with save the strip from Murray. Porter leaning, that's not good. I already knew that. He's like kind of leaning to the left on that jump shot. Wooters, that's the thing too, man. Again, as I like to say about this present NBA, this is a very, man, weirdly comfortable shooting 3-point league. You know, whether they have it going or not, the team has it going or not. Every team just seems to be content with just jacking up as many of them as you can. You know what I mean? That's kind of a common philosophy. And I still don't understand it. I'll never understand it. You know, if it works for you, though, it works, man. And live by the 3, die by the 3. They're making a reality. You know what I mean? You know, in this present NBA is watching Shay's back into the game. Can't leave Wiggins open, man. He's not going to miss all of those. But he missed that one. 29-32 is the score here midway through the second quarter. Very low scoring second quarter so far. Still got Caruso. Oh, and Jokic still did exactly what he wanted to do, which is what I talked about in the first quarter, that backing down the defender. He took, instead of kind of squaring up and having Caruso stay pesky underneath, man, he just backed him down straight into the lane. I think the double team definitely, Chet comes over to double after he gets deep in the paint. He was nearly below the dotted by the time Chet came over to double. So that double team has to come a whole lot sooner before, you know what I mean, he gets that position in the lane, especially if you're going to take that kind of a defensive, you know, approach to having Caruso stay on him out top to be a disruptor, to keep him from distributing the ball. Caruso's going to need some help much faster than that, man. As Jokic gets into his offensive rhythm. Caruso swinging around the horn, man. That's OKC's game. That's how they play. Is that Case and Wallace? Knocks down the 3. It is and the defense, the pesky defense of the Thunder. 5-point game, 37-32. You complaining, bro. You just get on up and play ball. That was Lou Dort to knock down that 3. 32-37 is the score. Oklahoma City up by 5. 6:50 and counting to go here in the second, according to my live stream. Christian Brown is working for you. It's working for you, man. Shoots the three and makes it. 35-32, 12 points in the first half of Christian Brown. He's player of the first half so far, man. He's doing his thing. Yeah. You know, I really don't understand, not just that there's so many threes that are being taken. You know what I mean? Like, I get that spacing is spacing. And so, you know what I mean? I understand how swinging the ball quickly when you have teams content to help can leave a player wide open behind the perimeter, man. But, man, the way that these players get these wide open threes in this league, I'm like, stop trying to double. If they're content to shoot the three, stay home. Stay home on your man and force the driving lanes. You know what I mean? Force the driving action. Like, I don't understand this. Knowing that teams are in love with shooting threes and you're still trying to cheat off of your man to help out where the ball ain't even at yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. That's really weird to me. So it's like kind of the fundamental mindset of defense in this league is baffling to me in a lot of ways also. As I just watched, you know what I mean? Watch them swinging the ball around. The perimeter hasn't changed. The size of the perimeter hasn't changed in this league. They didn't make the court any wider. You know what I mean? So if you just stay home, force your man to cut and you go with him, that's much better than trying to race back over to him to contest a three. You know what I mean? While you're trying to recover on defense. But what do I know, man? I'm just an old basketball player. Porter is still leaning, man. He's still leaning to the left on that jump shot. Straight up, straight down, bro. It's Shea time. Oh, got Holmgren for three. And that one I understand because Shea penetrated and kicked back out to the shooter. That's different than just swinging around the horn. You know what I'm saying? Well, today's threes, Wooch says, and the amount of misses, get an elite rebounder in there, and you can really control the game. Yep, I agree. Yeah, you get somebody who's just hungry and tenacious, man, on that glass as a window cleaner. And damn, what? I was on the floor. Man, Christian Brown is definitely being aggressive offensively. But yeah, if you get some offensive or rebound-minded individuals, you know, folks who just love to do nothing more than just come in and rebound, then you should totally eat in this NBA. Keep a contract for years, bro. Because, you know, more possessions obviously mean more opportunities to rebound. And so, yeah, I definitely can't see how you're wrong there, Wooch. I agree. Yeah, these guys definitely look for the foul calls too much, man. Too much complaining. Far too much complaining in this league now. I'm just like, bro, play ball. Every single play they want a foul call them. It's like you're not going to get a foul call on every play, bro. Relax. This man hacks you up. Just keep it moving. But both Hardenstein and Jokic on that. Yeah, these young boys are playing D out there, man. The half court. Oklahoma City is definitely playing D. Because that could have easily been, a justifiable switch there on that screen and roll from Jokic to Gordon from Shea. But Shea fights through it and, you know, still kind of gets the swipe there at the end. Yeah, that's how you fight through the pick, man. A lot of switching in today's NBA, man. Man, they some switch happy folks, man. These folks be switching like. Is that tonight? 7 points tonight? 5 rebounds? Wow. In 15 minutes of play? Well, Gordon is definitely not looking like that hamstring is affecting him, so that's good, man. That is really good. 36-38 is the score presently. Make that 37-38. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Yeah, Gordon's definitely on pace for a double-double, which I agree. Easy money. Caught Jokic trying to help J-Dub for the scoop. 6 points to Jalen Williams in the game so far. 40-37, man, is the score. Oklahoma on top. Man, Russ is determined to force the ball into Jokic, and I understand feeding your big man, but yeah, man, like a little dribble penetration, Russ. You know what I'm saying? Like a little dribble penetration, bro. Like get the defenders off him a bit. Yeah, he just knows that Caruso's being pesky. So let's see if that was a flop from Jokic. Yeah, Caruso was being a pest, man. Yeah, but there's a better way to make that entry pass to the big, man. Yeah, Russ is trying to make an entry pass from the top of the key into the post. Where they do that at? Yeah, I mean I can appreciate that. Who says, Russ knows that the Thunder are putting smaller players on Jokic and he's trying to expose the mismatch. I can respect, that train of thought, but at the same time, there's a better angle to make that entry pass into the post. You know what I'm saying? Russ is certainly not from the top of the key. All my years of playing, there was never any, you know what I'm saying, entry pass being made to the post from the top of the key. You can catch, Jokic's hands up high, you know what I mean, like calling for it. That's a little bit different, but he's trying to force an entry bounce pass through the lane. That's weird. That's a weird angle. Always has been, always will be. But 39-40 is the lead in this game. 3-point from OKC. Oh, almost got it. Loose ball foul, Lou Dort. I wonder what Lou Dort's actual height is. I have to look it up. 6'7", 6'8". I always expect him to get more rebounds and to be a better rebounder also, man, but he's not, which is kind of weird. Yeah, man, these guys are killing on the offensive class. Oklahoma City is killing these boys on the offensive class right now. 42-39, man, is the score here in this one. Are Dort's only 6'3", 6'4"? Okay. Wow. I always expect him to be a better rebounder, man. His games will get one rebound or no rebounds. I'm like, how the fuck is that even possible? And maybe it's just positionally, why that's the reason why I expect him to, just because of where he is, typically. But I'm not saying offensive rebounds, but definitely a couple defensive rebounds a game. 42-39, man. 3 minutes and counting here in the second quarter. 12 points for Christian Brown in the first half, man. He's played really, really, really good. So far, so good. Yeah, only 13 points here in the quarter for the Nuggets, man. I was saying that. It's been a really low-scoring second quarter. Yeah, a little dribble penetration, Russ. That's how you want it. Let's get that defense shifting. Jamal Murray knocks down the jumper. 41-42 is the score here. Timeout from Oklahoma City. But yeah, a little dribble penetration, man, always softens up the defense a little bit. So again, for me in this league where people are so incredibly happy about, the kind of 3-point happy, I'll say, I just get annoyed when I'm watching players pass up wide open 3-point jump shot or the driving lane where they'll even take a pump and a dribble and instead passing up a wide open mid-range shot in favor of trying to find the man behind them or the other teammate around the perimeter for an open three. And it's like, bro, you're open too. You know what I mean? And the lane was open as you began to drive, or at least, you know what I mean, you would have collapsed defense a little bit more to maybe make the 3-point shot that you guys are looking for make more sense. It's a higher percentage shot the closer you are to the basket. That's just a reality. But yeah, definitely a good game so far, man. I expected what I'm seeing. I haven't seen anything that I'm not, with the exception of Oklahoma City killing Denver on the offensive glass right now. And maybe that's a factor that I haven't paid attention to through this series, but they are certainly demolishing these boys on the offensive glass. So far in this one. Yeah, perhaps this will be like a third quarter game where, you know, the team that comes out, makes the proper adjustments in the third quarter, can get the edge and then keep the pressure on in the fourth quarter. But, of course, there's still about 3 minutes to go here in the first half. So let's see how they close here. Close strong. Either one of these teams can get a 10-point lead going into the half. Man, that's some decent cushions. 20-point lead is not safe in this particular NBA, but a 10-point halftime cushion is definitely all right. You know what I mean? Like we got a little leeway, just a little. But entertaining first half so far. In this one, who do I want to see win the game? Oklahoma City's had a historical run this season. Great year for them overall. But if I have my choice, I would like to see I'd like to see Denver advance to the next round for the potential of going to the finals, and if for no other reason than because they let Mike Malone go. You know what I mean? And, you know, for them to make the finals without the guy who, in terms of the head coach, who helped bring a championship to Denver a few seasons ago, man, would be incredible. That would be just an amazing storyline. Jokic will likely not win the MVP this season because Shea deserves it. You know what I mean? Like, I think they both have played worthy of it. Jokic deserves an MVP also, but unfortunately Shea and Shea's production, in addition to what Shea's team did this season, solidifies it for him. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think if Shea doesn't win it this year, I'll for the first time be saying like, yo, this dude got robbed. Even though Jokic just had a remarkable season, bro. I just like, wow, that dude got robbed. But 41-42 is the score here, man. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Let's see who closes out like they want it here in this first half. Shea operating. There you go. With the trees, a lob to Chet on the inside from Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. 44-41 is the score. No, bro, not down. Jokic, come on, bro. Just keep it moving. Just keep it pushing. They're just down there banging with you, bro. That's it. It's physical. It gets physical in that paint, brother. It should. If you're going to double that man, you're going to leave a man wide open, bro. You don't have to help him. Let SGA work. He's just 2 points. It's not as many as 3. It's one fewer. 47-41 score in this game. They continue to try to force the ball inside to Jokic. Bad passes to Jokic in the post, leading to turnovers. And they're off to the races. J-Dub. I said, let's see who closes the strongest, man. Looks like right now it is the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're up by 8. I just talked about that 10-point cushion going into the half. 7-0 run for the Thunder ever since. Things can get out of hand. Luckily, there are only a minute and 25 seconds left in this first half, man, because, it can get out of hand real quick. But a bit of fatigue. We see the complaining to the refs. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff happening. Jokic is doing a whole bunch of complaining. The Nuggets are trying to force a lot of the action on the inside. Oklahoma City is content to collapse around Jokic and make everybody else beat them, which they should, which speaks to why Christian Brown has had such a great first half. But, I feel like they need to run some screen and roll action for Gordon, you know what I mean, and Jamal Murray, you know what I mean, something like that. Like, just get some other guys involved, man. That's it. Can't keep trying to force a thing that's not working. But kudos to Oklahoma City Thunder in this game, and they're playing some very scrappy defense. They are aggressive on the offensive glass. They're crashing the boards, man, like crazy. And yeah, it's definitely benefiting them in this game so far. We'll see how this continues to play out. We shall see.
This is what it's about: is offense to defense, defense
Right.
turning into offense. You see Jalen Williams getting out on the break. There is no one there. That is from
And that's what I say. All they have to do is just like really just push the ball, because that should, in reality, rather, should not have been a fast break. But you know, with the young legs of J Dub, and you look up and this dude's gone in 60 seconds. Jokic just, I'm telling you, they're forcing this issue offensively, and man, clearly we got halftime coming up, so you know what I mean. Like I expect some kind of adjustments to be made. But if they're content, Shea just knocked down the three, 52-43. If they're content to just force all the action through Jokic, man, Denver's going to lose this game. They're going to lose this game. There needs to be some balance, even out top. You see? Forcing action to Jokic leads to a transition dunk from Jalen. J-Dub Williams on the steal, 54-43. They're up 11. The prophecy I just spoke about, and they're forcing action to Jokic again, and a steal for Caruso. In transition, Oklahoma City, it's about to get out of hand, man. God damn. 14-2 run here. Stop trying to force the ball to Jokic, man. Swing the ball around. You got other teammates. Get some other people involved. Let's play some ball. Yeah, that's crazy. If the whole of their offense is going to be, even in trying to come back in this game, just force the ball to Jokic, high post or low post, man, they can forget about it, bro. These boys are playing scrappy defense, and they're expecting it. Oklahoma City's expecting them to force the ball. You know what I mean? Into Jokic. It's crazy. And they're swarming him. As soon as that ball comes, to Jokic, they are swarming him. Jokic misses the first free throw. At all times, all over Jokic out there. Clearly, Dagnall's plan coming in or through the second quarter, into the second quarter, and through the second quarter has been like, don't let Jokic touch it or make it hard for him. You know what I mean? As he touches it. Hmm. Yeah, Denver wants every call. They are crying for every single call, and the free throw disparity right now is ridiculous in Denver's favor. They want every single call, bro. Relax. Play basketball. Crying for every foul and then mad when you commit a foul. The baby's gonna do. You're gonna do all the crying. All OKC in this last 3 minutes, 10 seconds that I was talking about, man. Like I said, their intent to force the ball into Jokic, man. That's 17 points for him in the first half. It's 17 points. It's just that it doesn't seem like it for certain. Certainly, if Oklahoma City would have allowed him to have his way, man, he'd have 30 by now. Given that 17, 2.8 seconds remaining in the game, 60-46 now. Oklahoma City on top. One last heave. Nope. 14-point lead at the half, man. I said if in that last 3 minutes closing strong, you had a 10-point cushion, that was certainly 14 points is the same. You know what I'm saying? Damn, it's crazy. They ran away with it in the last 3 minutes and 10 seconds of the second quarter. I'm going to get the scoreboard updated here. 60-46, man. Jeez Louise. Man, what do y'all think about that first half, man? What did y'all see? It's a very, very humdrum You know what I'm saying? Very humdrum second quarter for the Denver Nuggets. They only scored 20 points in the entire second quarter. Just 20 points after scoring 26 in the first quarter. Yeah, man, 31 points in the second quarter for the young Oklahoma City Thunder, who also made a bit more of a defensive stand to keep the ball out of Jokic's hand, and maybe that will be adjusted, to accommodate or to prevent, so many turnovers, I'll say, by Denver in the second half or here at halftime, leading into the second half, man. But their game plan is clear, meaning Oklahoma City. Collapse on Jokic, man, make everybody else beat you. And Christian Brown certainly had a really good first half. That second quarter, though, they were a disruption. OKC, they disrupted things quite a bit. Disrupted the flow of offense for the Denver Nuggets, and conversely, with feisty and very having the active hands on D. I don't think enough could be said for what active hands or the benefit of players having active hands on D. There is not enough that can be said for that. It's definitely important, having the hands active in the passing lanes. You know what I mean? Like in the face of the defenders, just keeping those hands moving. As long as you don't get caught with some swing through, jump shots and the like. You know what I mean? You're good. But yeah, having the active hands, man, because you never know. Well, active hand may end up leading to a tip, which Oklahoma City benefited from a whole bunch there. A lot of tips. They got them transition dunks, fast break opportunities. So, yeah, man, if Denver's going to play like this in the second half, they are in trouble. If Oklahoma City continues to play their style of basketball, where they get out and run, and they can create transition opportunities on the defensive end, man, they will smoke Denver in this second half. I'm saying smoke them. What's Malika talking about?
Cage was a little too big. Maybe they were a little bit rattled. Oh, no. They just needed to find their footing. We're going to break it all down for you right after this break. Give us 6 seconds.
That is what happens when you play collective defense, Stephen. I agree. Man, I'm trying to get this scoreboard update up here for you. The score is 46-60 here at the half, man, and Marah. We'll see what Oklahoma City did not look. I don't think they looked bad to start the game. I just think that, Denver came out with a little punch, and a little hyper activity. They got some offensive or a bit of an offensive punch and a huge contribution from Christian Brown early to start the game. Jokic also had 7 points early on. I think at the same time Christian Brown had like 9. So they were looking like they were seemingly in control, I guess I'll say, of the game, which required a bit of settling down for Oklahoma City, which looks like they've settled quite a bit and settled in quite well. Yes, turnovers that he forced to, as they're talking about J-Dub, being in control here. But yeah, he forced a lot of turnovers, which is good.
And capitalizing. And Denver, to win this game, Malika, 4 of 19 from 3, 12 turnovers to 3 for the Thunder.
All right, man. So there's at halftime. There's that halftime score for you there. Let's see. So little bro trying to pop back onto the stream. Getting nothing from Jamal Murray. 1 of 4 shooting in the first quarter. Or it was at one point. He was 1 for 4. I'm not sure where he ended up. Take a look at these. It's halftime box score. Put a whole bunch on it. Yeah, Jamal Murray 2 of 7 in that first quarter. 1 of 4 from Michael Porter Jr. 5-11 for Christian Brown, man. Incredibly active, like I said. But they, that stands to reason they were just like kind of allowing him to take a bunch of shots. They wanted to see everybody else beat them except for Jokic, man. And what's good, little bro? Can you hear me? $60 points too many. Way too many. Way too many.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Am I coming through?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, man. I thought Denver had them for a second, but they fought their way back. And depending on how the start of this third quarter go, it might be like what I was telling you earlier. It might just end up being a wash. It might just end up just blowing these folks out.
It's I think I mean, obviously the second half it remains to be seen, right? But I think that much like we were saying prior to the live, like one team jumps on another team, you always expect the team to kind of fight back a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah. So Denver gets off to the fast start, and then from there, Indiana. I'm sorry, from there, Oklahoma City. You know what I mean? Just kind of took their best punch, and then they got their thing going, not just offensively, but start crashing the glass like crazy, and scoring a bunch and off of offensive rebounds, and then that defense stepped up and they started to get those steals and transition scoring, and so that kind of a thing, like keep doubling down on Jokic and keeping the ball out of, or keeping him contained at least even to a degree, just make it as hard on him as possible, which actually led to a bunch of turnovers. That's a great formula, you know what I mean? For like, if y'all going to keep trying to force it in here, then we're gonna make it tough for you, and they definitely were doing that, man. So, but yeah, it could be a wash, man. If they jump on them to start.
Yeah.
The second half. Because I was saying at the 3-minute mark, you weren't on yet, but I was saying that it was just a 1-point game. So I was like, it's 3 minutes to go here. Let's see who closes this first half. Close the second quarter, obviously, but who closed the first half, man, with a punch, and like who wants it more. And I was like, a 10-point cushion going into halftime, man, you know what I mean? Like it's not like, damn, we got the game in hand, but 10 points gives you a bit to sigh on. I was saying, to take a kind of a collective like sigh of relief, especially after being 11 for Oklahoma City. But for Denver now, man, it's like, damn, bro, y'all up 11. Now y'all down 14. That's a 25-point swing. So psychologically for them, I'm not counting them out. Yeah, I'm not counting them out by saying that they're like, man, bewildered. But they didn't look too good out there, man, and handling what Oklahoma City was throwing at them. But that's what halftime is for. It's for adjustments to be made. And yeah, man, we'll see what happens here. Because like you said, it could be a wash here early in this second half.
Yeah. And I think, man, like really going back to our conversation earlier, I joked around and said Jokic is coaching the team, but that's really been a real weakness in this series. Like Denver's coach has been getting out coached this series, even though it's been going 7. It's only going 7 because Jokic has been willing. He's been willing the team those wins, not totally by himself, but he's the anchor. So, but I think they've been getting out coach. It was maybe like last game, or maybe it was game 5, but it was like the start of the game, and OKC ended up going up like 16-4 or something. But it was like the run that they went on was just so crazy. Like I felt like they should have called a timeout when they got to like 12, like when it was 12-4. But it's like just bad coaching. It's like he don't call timeouts when he should, and like it's just a lack of strategy in a lot of places. Like I said, like it's been kind of just like Jokic has been kind of just wheeling the team, and everybody else just been coming along, as needed. But as far as like coaching, it's just I feel like he hasn't been getting it done really, because they shouldn't have lost game 5 as well. Like they shouldn't have lost game 5. They were up too much with with like I think they was probably up like 10-12 with like 5 minutes to go, and they lost the game. They should have won that game, and it should have been a closeout game, game 6. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I would
it
say
was like
that,
bad
like,
coaching, like
yeah,
down
you
the
have to,
stretch. He ain't like called timeouts. It was another, I can't remember like which play, but it was like
yeah,
a timeout should have been called down that stretch. Like you losing the lead, like stop it at 4 points. Like, all right, like they cut the lead to 4 or something. Like we need to call the timeout. Like talk to y'all. Like what's going on? What y'all saying? Like
yeah. I think that goes to, like, with David Adelman being like a interim coach. You know what I mean? Like, even like for us, like on the stream, right? What you're saying, it's like it's easy for the person armchair coaching to be like, man, I would have did this. I should do. You know what I mean? You should do that. And then when you actually wearing that ball cap, you know what I mean? You actually the guy. You got that clipboard. You know what I mean? It's a totally different thing. So, yeah, he's not quite, you know what I mean, like head coach material when you're not, until you actually do land a job, and you know what I mean, like you
right,
get that amount of reps under your belt. But like I was saying in the episode earlier today, as I was talking about Jokic leading, the playoffs in all of those statistical categories, even for Adelman, man, he only coached the last 4 regular season games. You know what I mean? And
right,
so he's coached now more games in the playoffs than he actually coached in the regular season. And his record, overall winning record, and all of that stuff, you know what I mean, has been exacerbated by the continued success of the team and in the playoffs. But yeah, man, this is a chess game, and sometimes making those right moves, you know what I mean, at the right time, like you said, can be all the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, not even to go last game, we just talked about this game and what was happening in the first half. I would have liked to see a timeout called after 2 or 3 turnovers, and then just trying to force the ball to Jokic. I would like to see him just call a timeout and say, "What the fuck are we doing?" You know what I mean?
right,
Like, let's make sure that we're making the plays or setting up at least this high screen for him. You know what I mean? Like this high post action like that. Or let's make sure that we're, you know what I mean? Like making entry or setting them up for better entry passes by running this kind of action or whatever. Instead, they just kept forcing passes, which led to transition dunks, like you said, man, which need not happen, especially you can't afford to have them happen, in a game like
right.
this.
Not in game 7.
Right. Right.
Like
That's a,
every
ain't no
every
tomorrow game.
possession.
Yeah, ain't no game in a couple of days, rather. And so, yeah, man, they said first half, fast break points. You know what I mean? Oklahoma City's winning. They doubled them up 10-5. The points in the paint, they doubled them up 40-20. So that was those offensive rebounds that I was talking about, man. They were killing them on the offensive glass, just doing them dirty on the offensive glass and scoring. Denver was like, you could say, oh, they too small. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it was just desire and activity.
Right. Yeah. I gotta see some energy from Denver coming out in the second half. If they come out flat, the game over.
Yeah.
And you know, that's just it. Find a new head coach next season, new GM.
Yeah, here we go,
And
man. We'll see. Let's see it.
yeah, let me step away for a second, real quick.
Yeah, I think they definitely need Jamal Murray to, you know what I mean, to be much more active offensively in the second half for certain. 2 for 7 in the first half, so he needs to be way more aggressive in finding the shot. And just like that, man, Murray and Jokic run into each other. Turnover and an easy transition dunk for Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City, it's like I said, to their credit, I like that they're fighting over these screens, bro. They're not just settling for switches. They're actually trying to fight through and make it a little more difficult, keep a little more pressure on the ball handler. Offensive foul now. You guys are doing so much complaining, bro.
So what they're doing is they're pressuring the passer, and I think they're going to refuse it. They're pressuring the passer, and yes, I think that's working with you.
I have a question for you, Richard, because you played in this city. I think it was Stan Van Gundy on a team.
Come on, bro. That's what you do to clear space, bro.
So the college rule and the NBA rule.
That's what you do to clear space. You just, yeah, that's it.
Should be allowed for a cylinder in this type of play. Meaning you can come across if somebody's
Right.
like that.
His face was in the way. I don't know about that one. I think they're going to call it a flagrant foul, but
Players almost leading with their face because they know if anything comes across, if you hit them with an elbow, any of that stuff, then all of a sudden it's going to be a foul on you. So that makes it easier for the defender to be aggressive. You got to give that offensive player a chance to move.
exactly. That was just like that's just a regular square motion, bro. But I can't do that. Like, what can I do? I understand the, you know what I mean, of the wedge of an elbow, but just naturally clearing, you know what I mean. Like I should be able to at least have that range of motion. But I don't know. We'll see what the call is here. We will see what the call is. Denver's obviously rattled to start the second half. Oklahoma City has not given up in terms of intensity. They're intent to come out and still be as active and intense. I think that they are definitely excited about this lead that they have, and they are intent to build upon it. And so, with that kind of energy that they're giving to, like, make sure that we stay on top of them tenaciously, get on defense, and let's get out and run and do that. Like, they can run these boys off the court right here, bro. This could be it. This definitely could be it with that kind of energy. Denver's opening this quarter by doing the same things, just kind of lethargically. You know what I mean? Playing through their sets and also complaining a whole fucking bunch. Not a good recipe for winning. Wootage says Denver's complaining too much, while the Thunder are just straight playing. And I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree, bro. So much complaining, in the sense. It's not that people didn't complain years back, you know what I mean? Like, complainers are complainers. Like, players are always going to complain. If a player feels like they got fouled, I think you will feel your right to be like, yo, damn, I got fouled. What's good there? But it's not even the complaints, man. It's just how I think the complaining for them takes them so much out of the rhythm of playing basketball, especially because you'll watch them not even get back on defense, or they're still arguing to play like 2 plays later. It's like, bro, they didn't call the foul. They're not going to go back and call it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it go. You have to keep your head in the game too. So I feel like there's not a lot of attention being given to just, like, you know what I mean, toughen your way through it. You know what I mean? Like, some calls are going to go your way and some are not. You know what I'm saying? So if it's not challengeable in that sense and the challenge, hasn't been called, then, man, keep playing. Keep playing. You figure out the rest as you go. But yeah, the constant complaining for me is definitely a focal point that needs to be, adjusted for a lot of these players. It's one of my least favorite things about Luka Doncic. Obviously, he complains so much. And I just watch, other players do it too. They're just complaining. I'm watching Ant Edwards do it a lot now. It's like just constant. Hey, ref! I just go to the bench. It's like, just play ball, bro. Like, stop complaining. Wow, they caught a flagrant penalty one on that. Yeah. Yeah, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't at that point. That may let you know that the fix is in, because even with this as a regular motion for him to just, like try to get back into a space where he can even put the ball down, that just shows you that for the way that Caruso was crowding Jokic in the first half, Jokic obviously having his elbows just in Caruso's general height space. That means they're about to start calling, a lot of that regular basketball motion, man, is fouls for Denver in the second half. And if that's the case, then they can't win the game, man. There's no way they can win, because Oklahoma City is definitely going to continue to play scrappy defense. They came out to play some defense, so they're going to stay in their hip pocket. Their intent to do so, it looks like. Right now, it's an 18-point game, man. That fast. There's 20. Yeah, this shit's over. God damn. 6-0 run to start the third quarter for Oklahoma City. Like I said, they definitely need some offensive punch from Jamal Murray in the second half. Like, period, man. He needs to step his up. They're going to need a whole lot more points from Jamal Murray, especially, certainly down 20 points now, clearly. They're going to need like a 20-point second half from Jamal or more. 10 plus in this quarter, 10 plus in the next. That's a better looking jump shot for Michael Porter Jr. He went straight up and down this time.
Yeah, OKC on fire, man.
Yeah, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Yeah, like that early momentum, man, too. You know what I mean? You get a couple calls. Like I said, they came out playing Denver, being kind of lethargic and kind of, OKC still playing that scrappy style of defense. Got a couple calls to go your way. You get some complaining, some shots to fall from the other team. And next thing you know, man, it's the 23-point game. You know what I'm saying? From 14 and a half to 23. 9-point turnaround that quick, man. Nine straight points, rather, to start the quarter. That's a tough hole to build yourself out of, man. That's why I was saying for, that cushion. You can get a little bit of cushion going into the half and then start out the second half on fire. It's like, yeah, man, you really, you know what I mean? You could really kind of breathe and relax some. But, yeah, Denver's – it's not looking good for him, man, unless Jamal Murray going to start playing like Jamal Murray, that Brunson style that we know he's capable of playing, where he can get a whole bunch off, man, real quick. He's going to need to show up like that. He need to put his cape on real quick. Otherwise, they can wrap it up, because they're doubling on or just playing aggressively on Jokic. Even with that, you see from that Lou Dort foul that he just picked up. So
yeah, they definitely sending a lot of baddies his way, trying to keep him, make everything tough on him.
Yeah,
keep him, shooting over somebody, keeping somebody in front of him.
Yeah, the benefit of that is you tire him out too, man. He's a big guy. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
just make him work for all of it. You know what I mean? Keep using that, making them use that energy. Yeah, but that's definitely what I'm seeing so far, man. It's not looking good. It is not looking good. It's looking like your prophecy, man, has come to fruition here. When you said it might be a wash come early third quarter, second quarter, third quarter. Like, man, let me find something else to do.
Right. But that's just a trend I noticed this season with all these early games. It's like, man, it's either, you either get two things. It's like the game either be really close or it'd be a wash. Like, oh man, I thought this game was gonna be good. But it's been more washes than good games in the early games.
Yeah, what's funny about that is, that's not to say that wasn't happening back in the day. I hear players talking about it until like the modern era, obviously, of podcasting and that sort of a thing. But Gil and them were talking about it like, oh man, we went out to the club last night and blah blah blah. It's about a 1 o'clock game on a Sunday. I think Lou Will was saying he was still drunk in the game. Like, man, I'm still drunk. So yeah, I mean, I guess the more time you get to prepare for the game, the better. You know what I mean? A weekend notwithstanding.
Right.
Well,
Yeah. But you would think like because it's a game 7, like the energy would be high on Denver side. Game 7, you away.
but in the first quarter, they played the way that they wanted to play. They play a very lethargic, slow down style offense. And so if they can play that way, they can be really effective. They're not going to be a super fast up and down pace. You know what I mean? Like, they're not scrappy defensively. They play the way they play. Russ, remember, comes in to give them this extra hyper active energy. You know what I mean?
Right,
That's
right.
Denver. It's got an anti the way they play. That's why Russ kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. You know what I mean? Or kind of stands out, I guess, with the energy that he comes in and infuses on that second unit or with that second unit. So I don't even see them, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see where they could find this burst of energy all of a sudden that would help them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the way they get back into this game is by scoring and just slowing the game down to a crawl for Oklahoma City to limit their possessions. You know what I mean? And just hope that they miss and you keep getting rebounds going back down to slowly chip away at the lead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Caruso with the layup. That's another thing I feel like Denver needed today. Like they needed to be more aggressive on defense. It's game 7. You playing against a young group. They at home. But like you said, it's just not their game. So I feel like they gave up throughout the series. I mean, of course, throughout the series, but just in general, it just seems so frequent. Just like too many, inside looks, like too many good looks, like free running layups, like sort of just like what Caruso did, or people just running past Jokic for a layup. like it's been a lot of that. And those have been like timeoutable moments too. Like, what's going on out there? Why is this dude just running to the basket, laying it up like unchallenged?
Yeah, that's those youthful legs, man.
For sure.
You guys just got legs, young.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep pushing. 22-point game. These boys only got 4 points in the quarter so far.
Jamal Murray with the 3.
12-4. Still dealing with the flu. Now you had an extra 3 days. I got some IV, Gatorade, therapy. Should have got all that in.
Definitely should be over the flu by now.
Look at him. Aaron Gordon gets the foul call, still complaining. Like, come on, bro. Yeah, these dudes mental. They I mean, you know what I mean? You gotta just lock in mentally, man. Be like, fuck it. I'm gonna force the ref to make some calls. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just gonna keep looking to him being like, why you ain't calling? I'm like, all right, don't call this one. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna foul these dudes out.
Yeah, it's been a lot of moments throughout, especially here in this second round and these games and a lot of these series where like that element was missing in the game. And I think it was last game, this series. Denver had got OKC when Shea had four fouls.
Mm-hmm.
Denver had got OKC into the penalty early in the third. And they still wasn't like driving to the basket. They still was shooting threes, like stuff like that. Or, wasn't taking the ball, like trying to put Shea in a Jokic switch to get Shea fouled out the game. Like this dude, like this their star player. Like, let's get him up out of there. Like, let's put him in the switch with Jokic. And have Jokic back him down and get him his fifth foul, get him his sixth foul, get him up out the game. Like, so it's like a lot of that type strategy, like, don't exist anymore in the game. like coaches don't consider that type stuff no more, it seems like.
No, it's real. But that's those adjustments that you were saying from the coach, you know what I mean, that matter. And it's not just the head coach. So I don't put too much on him to by himself. It's like you have assistant coaches over there also, man. Why is nobody suggesting this? Nobody else sees this?
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a refusal to do it. Who knows? Yeah, that's short.
It's definitely a new game now. Like, the game's definitely changed. I'm not sure, how long it's going to stay like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, if something doesn't change, it's not going to bode well for the league, especially, they already having, ratings issues supposedly. So.
Wow. Boys just doing what they want to do out there, man. But that's, like I said, it's that scrappy defense, active hands. What can you do? And especially when you collapse on Jokic and like you're forcing him to pass out of the double, then everybody else just stay put on your guy. Damn.
Yeah. Bang on Jokic.
Look at the transition. See him? See the transition? That's it. That's their game. Because Denver doesn't get back, man. Denver wants you to walk it up. So that way Oklahoma City can play their game, man, it's over.
Yeah, that's it right there. That's the statement right there of the game. Just dunked on Jokic.
Yeah.
That's it.
But that was from a three. That was from a 3-point jump shot. So typically long shots create long rebound opportunities. You get a 3 up. That ain't rattled out. You know what I mean? I think the other 4 players were in the paint, and that's what would lead to a transition score like that. But it wasn't. They were actually all trotting back already, just jogging. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Where's the aggressive getting back, man? To make sure that you take transition potential, you know what I mean, from the young boys. So, yeah, the young boys should have been out running the whole time. And I feel like they made this series a whole lot longer than it had to be by allowing Denver to just play the style that they wanted to play. But, yeah, it is what it is, man. Hey, the better team is winning right now. And maybe this is a good of a shake, you know what I mean, kind of a wake-up call for Oklahoma City, too, to not come out and play with their food in this next series. I don't know that Oklahoma City – I don't know that Minnesota is talented enough to beat this team, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just Randall and Ant, you know what I mean? Like, can DiVincenzo give you some buckets? Can, you know what I mean? Like, can the other, kids kind of score in bunches if necessary? Like, yeah, but bona fide offensive, like, I just don't see it. Firepower, I don't see it. And incredibly aggressive this offseason either to just be like, or even the whole season. Like, I'm just going to take over, you know what I mean? And just like, I'm going for mine to start. Like, I haven't seen it.
Right.
Yeah, Davis definitely a chip off the old block. Damn, bro, 21-point game, man. This is crazy.
Yeah. I think Minnesota's others will have to at least match offensively, OKC's others, and I'm not sure if they're capable of doing that.
Right.
Ant-Man going, do Ant-Man, Shea going to do Shea, but can everybody else, match their man for me offensively? And I'm not sure. I think Minnesota definitely has the will to do it, but I'm not sure if they can achieve it.
Yeah, what they would need is like huge games from DiVincenzo and those guys. You know what I'm saying? It's not that they're not capable of doing it, but they need them to be super. You know what I mean? Like every game.
Right.
So with that, I just don't think that I just don't think. But I could be. You know what I mean? Like it's the matchups are the matchups. Like you never know what's going to happen until they actually.
Right. But the one thing to remember about Minnesota is that, they're defensively minded too. So they can match up with them defensively.
Right.
They can possibly slow down OKC's others enough to be able to win the game. Like next series will be essentially, youth against youth. In a sense, I think like Julius Randle and Mike Conley and possibly Rudy. That's like their the oldest people in their lineup. Mike Conley being the oldest. So I think they'll be able to match up with them, at least defensively, be able to slow them down. But I'm not sure if they can put up the points.
Yeah. Because I just feel like, if it becomes a track meet, then the edge definitely goes to Oklahoma City. And it's just because of their depth. Like, they're using 10 in the playoffs. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Right.
You expected the roster to tighten up a little bit as the playoffs go on, but it's their lineups. You know what I mean? They're like, nah, we're just going to function with these, like, 8 people or this, whatever. And it's like, nah, bro, they've been content to use 10, 11 sometimes. It's crazy. So they're incredibly deep, too. And they're all about, getting rest and resting their players. And so whereas they know Shea will score in bunches, they don't hesitate to take him out. You know what I mean? Let him get a breather. And just rely on the others to get it done while he's not on the court. You know what I mean? Like I said, they'll give Russ that all day. Just get the ball out of Jokic's hand. They don't care who else shoots. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get the ball out of Jokic's hand. Make the rest of them hit some shots. They were swarming Jokic on the rebounding.
Defense.
Why are you doubling?
Ooh.
I would never double Shea, bro. I would never double him. He gonna cook. But I'm not gonna double him and leave a rebounder. Leave a 3-point shooter open. I'm just not gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. He gonna have to cook match up 1-on-1. You're just gonna have to. You're just gonna have to, bro. I feel like they're so willing to double at any scenario and situation in this NBA, and it drives me crazy too. It's like, bro, what the fuck are we doing? It's the doubling and the switching. It's just like, yeah, this is gonna be a good one to see, man. Minnesota versus Oklahoma City in the Western Conference Finals. Halliburton versus Brunson in the Eastern Conference Finals. Man, definitely some compelling superstar matchups, youth for youth. So it ain't like, you know what I mean? Like, he up against the old dude. Like, nah, they all young.
Right.
Good young matchups. I like to see Ant take on the SGA, you know what I mean, defensive role.
Oh, yeah, I think he's gonna do that. at least they're going to at least switch between him and what's my boy name? I don't know. I only could think of Shea name right now because both of them got two last names. Jaden McDaniels. They gonna switch between them two. Both of them gonna guard them though.
Yeah.
But if Ant think he can stop him, I think he'll just take the assignment. I mean, Ant took on the assignment of Luka, and he was guarding LeBron.
Yeah,
So
those two old dudes, though. That's what I was saying, and I respect it, but it's like two old motherfuckers. And we're not Luka,
right.
but Luka moved like an old motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, but taking on the SGA that's altogether different. But yeah, I would like to say
for sure.
he was a really lengthy defender, also. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think they're gonna probably start with Jaden on them though, since Jaden got the length, can make all his shots tougher. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ant decided to guard him too. I feel like that's another storyline in this playoff year as well, is that Ant is trying to make a statement. He trying to show people like, nah, like I'm trying to be one of them ones that they mentioned in that GOAT conversation. So he going for that this year. Shay's storyline is like, y'all gonna stop disrespecting me. Like, y'all see what I'm doing over here, what I've been doing for the past 5 years, essentially, my growth and my ascension. So that's like there too.
you got Caruso out there dunking on him in transition. It's over.
Yeah. Now they can't buy a bucket now. Man. It's a wash. They about to go up 30. They about to go up 30 on these people, man.
That's crazy. This one's over.
But I think it was a good effort by Denver to will themselves to the second round of the playoffs after just firing their coach 4 games before the playoffs started. It's a good feat. Nikola coaching the team all the way to the second round of playoffs.
Yeah, I guess that would leave in question what could they have done with Mike Malone at the helm instead? You know what I mean? Who's coached them in these situations, not just that the players played,
right?
But like you said, one of the biggest critiques that you had here was how David Adelman has been out-coached in a lot of these situations here in this series. So perhaps, with a better coach, better schemes, better strategies, or just more experience from a coach's standpoint, he could have had them better prepared, at least for these situations, whereas maybe they felt like he didn't have them in the best situations during the season. But there's only 4 or 5 games left, bro. They could have waited until after this was over to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Run that. There's Russ again with another turnover.
Yeah, so I'm thinking definitely agree with you said. Like maybe, whatever was going on during the regular season, Mike Malone wasn't suited for. But in them playoffs, he understands situations and he know how to, get the right play call in. So they were definitely outcoached this series. It showed they was outcoached, and then this game essentially just ran out of the gym.
Right.
But it was just a lot of bad coaching. I mean, even I really started to notice it first round against the Clippers. I didn't think they were gonna beat the Clippers, but Jokic just kind of willed them past the Clippers. Jokic just got this thing. I don't lose to LA teams.
Yeah, like I said, if you allow them to play the way that they want to play. You know what I mean? And it's tough to beat. It's tough to beat, a Jokic kind of a player because he's running this or non-traditional point center role where he's out just kind of controlling flow and pace of offense. And so when you have to draw big out there to really pay attention to him, you know what I mean? And they're just playing a very methodical pace through and through. Like, yeah, man, you're going to get into a lot of close games with them, close battles that favor them. You know what I mean? Because they're still able to pick and choose spots offensively. And then Jamal Murray's just kind of able to rest and save his energy to be explosive the way he needs to be explosive. But you got to just play, man. You just got to get up and run. I mean, these boys they're not built to be a fast-paced up and down team.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the Clippers allowed them to play that slow-paced game. They want to play it with them. You know what I mean? Thinking that it benefited them too. And they needed to. You know what I mean? You got a Kawhi out there that's just coming back. He kind of laboring hard and fat. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And, Zubac, who is a, good post player. So you got to slow the game down to get him up going.
Yeah, man, if I score these boys by 8 in this quarter, man, this is the fucking wrap. I mean, it got to be a complete and utter meltdown fourth quarter.
It got to be a meltdown and Denver, just got hot.
Yeah, they have to have those two things, happen, essentially. And the likelihood is it's possible because we've seen it in these playoffs, you know what I mean? Like so far.
Yeah.
So it is highly possible. Is it likely? The question is it likely? It is possible.
I think if that was to happen, OKC might start breaking up their team next year.
I don't think so. I think they're good, man, because even with all these young pieces that they have, who knows who's still sitting on the bench that they haven't developed as of yet because they've just been this work in progress all this time. Then they got all these fucking draft picks also, man, to continue to use as trade pieces or to draft and to bring in players to develop it. So I just feel like, man, Oklahoma City is sitting so pretty right now, bro, that they don't have to destroy anything. They don't have to blow anything up. They can take their time. Even if it's not this year, then it's got to be next year. You know what I mean? Because that's what they were thinking last year. Like, all right, this is our year. And then this year, they really seem like they pulled it all together. You know what I mean? During the regular season, with the as far as their record is, concerned, anyway. But yeah, I think they can just kind of coast. Honestly. Yeah, but I don't see any need to panic and blow it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, y'all good, bro.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the contract situation is over there either. Well, because they got all those draft picks and potential undeveloped talent, I could see it, occurring. It's Giannis out there. Trade Chet and some picks for Giannis.
Yeah, I don't know. Because Chet still got such great upside, man. Him and Wemby, remember, are like the same. Like your same draft class or what have you. Chet's 1 year of college. Didn't play that 1 year because he, blew his knee out or did whatever he did. Then came back, had this extreme hip joint. So you could look at it like, well, maybe it might be an injury liability as it goes on. You know what I'm saying? But they're so young, man. I like this idea of them staying young and just building it the right way. You know what I mean? Like, as they would say, doing it the right way. Like, no sense in going out big game hunting for Giannis or any fuck all those dudes. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, I don't see how Giannis is
KD back home. KD can retire OKC, play out of the last of his contract and retire OKC.
I mean, yeah, that would be cool to see. But whether he would make a big difference for them? I don't think so, because again, we're talking about them being a young team and getting up and down and running and all that shit. And that's not KD's. He's older, man. You know what I'm saying? So he can't defend. Yeah, you get a lot of other people out there. So if you got 4 defending and 5, the one man ain't. You know, it's like, all right, it's cool. KD get beat. You got Hardenstein and Chet there to kind of shore up the middle a bit. Yeah, I mean that's cool for a little while, but KD's scoring ability is still a scoring ability. You know what I mean? We understand that, but yeah, I don't think they need to make a move for him. But finishing out his contract, like you said, just wanting to retire at OKC, yeah, that would be a great story. You know what I mean? But not even one that I think KD would embrace. You don't want to go and piggyback off those kids' title. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro, that's gonna be worse than his Golden State joint. He's like, look at him trying to steal a ring.
I mean, KD don't care about that, man. He just care about playing basketball the right way, man.
That's good. I would love to see how this scenario will play out, because he vetoed the going back to Golden State. So maybe he just felt that because he felt like, nah, we ain't got a fucking snowball chance in hell if I go back, or because he don't want to go back to his old stomping grounds. You know what I'm saying? So that's Oklahoma City the same way.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't want to go back to Golden State, because if he would have went back and they would have won it again, that still feeds into that narrative that he needed Steph to win a ring.
Yeah.
So he can't go back there, like regardless if he can win a ring, like he wouldn't go back there just off that. Like he need a ring outside of Steph, like Kobe needed a ring outside of Shaq.
Yeah, kinda. You know what I'm saying? Because at this stage of his career, he's not going to get one anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that, again, going to piggyback off of somebody else's ring it will be a knock on him. It's not like the Brooklyn ring would have been nice for him to get, because Kyrie, and him decided to go there. You know what I mean? But him joining this OKC team, it's like, bro, they already contenders. You going out there you doing the same shit. You know what I'm saying? You want that bullshit again.
That's what I'm saying. If they don't win it, it'd be literally the same scenario. Even if OKC get past Minnesota and go to the finals, if OKC don't win it, it'll be a similar situation. Like, he joining a team that got all the way there, lost it, and now he that added piece.
Except he ain't lose to him. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
They ain't make it this time, so.
Well, I mean, he did lose to him. They're in the same conference.
He ain't lose to him in the playoffs, though.
Right.
Remember, Steph and him eliminated him, and so that's the biggest knock, as people, you know what I mean, want to consider it a knock. Like, you gonna go and play for the same team that just eliminated you when y'all was up 3-1, and it's like, yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never really treated it like it was that big of a deal. To me.
What, KD going to play for Golden State?
Him
going over there to Golden State?
Yeah, it was never a big deal to me.
For me, I think it was just more so just a competition thing. In my eyes, I didn't like it from that aspect. At least the point that Stephen A. made, like that was the 73-9 team. Like KD went to go and join. Like he can win after that season. So it's like, no, like these dudes are a championship team. They just a Draymond, LeBron kicked to the balls, lost that finals. Like, so it was just like, why would you go and join that team? And this when I think the Spurs was still like a very good team, and this is before Kawhi was even hurt. So it was like, if he would have went to go play with Kawhi out there in the West, Kawhi and KD versus, Klay Thompson, Draymond, and, Steph, in that already deep Western Conference during that time, like that would have been a better, from a competitive standpoint, keeping balance keeping parity in the league. Like that's my only thing. It was like, come on, man, y'all know, like with all y'all on the team, nobody's beating y'all in a 7-game series. Like, it's no way y'all can lose in 7 games. Like, so it was just like that. Like,
Right.
so,
Yeah, but like I said, for me, and I can understand that as a point, right? But for me, with with the super team momentum already, in play, it's like, well, this is just what y'all doing these days. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I didn't. It was never really a big deal to me. I'm like, this is basically what y'all doing. Y'all teaming all up to try to win championships. Like, knock yourselves out. You know what I mean? So yeah, I wasn't as critical about the moves, for that reason. But I can understand the position that most everybody took on it, who has issue and took issue with him doing it. Especially, I'm just like, all right, you know what I mean? If you say so, but Braun them did it. You know what I mean? Like, what's the difference? You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
it
Braun,
definitely was
you know what I mean?
the turning point of that whole thing. People always try to make reference. Well, Charles Barkley went to Houston, and Karl Malone and Gary Payton went to the Lakers. Like, them dudes was over the hill by the time they did that stuff.
All right.
Them dudes' careers, they was past their prime. As the Boston Big Three, like them dudes was like at heading into the end of their primes.
Right.
And Ray Allen and KG part, at least, Paul Pierce was, he was the youngest out of them 3. So he was still, more so into his prime, but, he wasn't too far behind them.
Right. And it's not like he was the most physically fit motherfucker anyway.
Yeah, that too. That too. He ain't take care of his body for real.
Yeah, that's he had that working against him. But also, I feel like Ray still had a lot to give, obviously, because he wasn't moving like a number one or functioning like a number one kind of a guy.
Right.
Really plays into his still ability to just put the ball in the hoop. You know what I mean? When he went to Miami. But yeah, either way, like that argument for the Pippen did it, Barkley did it is a weak ass argument. I always hear it's like so annoying. Clyde Drexler did it. It's like, yeah, those dudes were old though, and so you throw all the old people on one team and let them all super team up at the end. You know what I mean? Steph,
right.
KD,
right.
Put them all on one team. Fuck them. You know
right.
what I mean? Put them all over there. Fucking little misfits team. And,
right. See if they can win one.
It's like, let's watch them lose, and then, man, just ship them all out of here.
Right.
Get rid of them, man. Like, let these kids have the league. You know what I mean? And it's good. I feel like, as I was saying this before, like LeBron just overstayed his welcome. And I understand as being a cash cow and you know what I mean? Like, you're the face and all this stuff. And so you still remain the face because you're the biggest draw, so to speak, in terms of being an icon, for the game, et cetera, and the most recognizable player. But I feel like the media plays a huge part in that too. And if the media just lets him go, you know what I mean, then we can embrace somebody else. It's like when Jordan came back out of retirement the second time. We knew that he was Jordan. We still loved him, but wasn't nobody like, oh my God, it's Michael Jordan.
Right.
And the buzz is like, you're like, bro, we know what it is. We know what he, you know what I mean? Nobody's expecting that. He's just playing. And they've kept this LeBron thing going for so long, man. It's just, it's watered down, opportunities or, the stardom of other players, you know what I mean? The space for appreciating them. But having, that reality of that Joker not even making the playoffs or beyond the first round, the majority of the seasons in the last 4 to 5, it's like, bro, the stage is set for somebody else to take over, for some new to emerge, and let the fans and let these small market teams win some. You know what I mean? Like, let the fans have their due, bro. We not stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, let these other teams win, and watch what that does for ratings and popularity and, you know what I mean, additional jersey sales, and then for helping to shape a more comprehensive conversation around who the face of the league is. You know what I mean? Like, instead of trying to think you got to anoint somebody, if you just allow these other teams to win, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to anoint them. They'll step up and do it on their own, because they'll see, like, oh, damn, this dude came in a couple years before me, or from this draft, or our team is better than his. So it'll create a natural, I feel like, camaraderie and natural rivalries. You know what I mean? But they just been so intent to force feed us LeBron, Steph, you know what I mean, KD. It's like, bro, fucking get over it already. You know what I mean? Like leave it alone. Let them old dinosaurs, man, be old dinosaurs. Let them ride off into the sunset. But yeah, Steph still has a lot to give. So if he was to take, I don't ever see him leaving Golden State, to be honest. But yeah, but
He
Steph
definitely gonna retire there.
Steph taking on more of a shooter's role. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that, where he's just, they fucking these people's up, man.
Yeah, I think LeBron, and in that sense, like how you just describing Steph, not really LeBron becoming a shooter, but just actually LeBron transitioning from being the focal point of a team to, you know, the number 2 option, and then potentially to the number 3 option. Like, that's what the Lakers is supposed to be right now. LeBron at 40 shouldn't be the number 1 option, or, you know, the 1B option, essentially. Like, he should be a 2nd or 3rd option on a team right now, but still playing at such a high level. Like, you know, we're still, you know, in awe about it. Like, man, this dude is still, like, you know, he ain't the number 1 option on the team, but he's still going out there giving us 25 a game at 40. Like, man, that's crazy. Like, but, you know, he chose Anthony Davis during that time, you know, to be sidekick with him, and everybody knows. And, you know, I mean, I really didn't believe that AD could be the man on a team with LeBron. So I feel like if they definitely should have chose like a wing player,
right,
instead of AD. Or if, you know, by some stroke of a miracle, they could have got Giannis away from Milwaukee during that time. Maybe Giannis would have worked out better than AD. But LeBron needed to be at a number 2 role probably like 5 years ago. He should have been the number 2 option, like around that time.
Yeah, and I think that because his prime lasted as long as it did, it kind of stretched out a little. Like that part of it was fool's gold, where it was like, you know, like, oh man, this dude can still get it done, so he should still be getting it done, and we can rely on him to do it. Whereas, you know, I don't think AD's the reason that they have not or did not have success there at the end. You know what I mean? As the years went on, that wasn't AD's fault. He was balling. To me, you know what I mean? It was just that the dinosaur didn't step back. You know what I mean? Like, bro, take a step back, bro. Let these other guys go, because then it gets you to a faster development of Austin Reeves and a Rui Hachimura that you brought in. It gets you more consistent production from those guys. And so it's easy from a fan perspective, I feel like, to argue like, oh man, well, you know, what can you expect from those guys? We give them a chance and they ain't stepping up. It's like, yeah, because LeBron sucks so much of the oxygen out of the room, bro. When he's on the, like, you never played with a really good basketball player, you won't understand it. You know what I'm saying? And especially one that's willing to take a step back. It's like, bro, we're still, you know what I mean? It's like the aura of this dude is bigger than his actual production. And because he in spots, it shows his fool's gold, because you're like, well, he's still getting it done at 38, 39. He the best 38-year-old we ever seen. But it's like, yeah, but he not that dude, bro. And so it does more good.
Right, exactly.
But I don't know how many more years KD has left even. You know what I mean? I would imagine Steph can go for another 4 years at a decent level. You know what I mean? I think KD probably got another 2. You You know what I mean? Like before teams just give up on him and he's on some man come off the bench type shit and he goes out like mellow, like I ain't about to be coming off nobody's bench and
Right,
just
right.
you know what I mean? But yeah, I think Steph is probably another 4 years from that happening. You know what I mean? But yeah, it remains to be seen. Jokic is at 30 years old right now, bro. I don't even see Jokic. I was thinking about this earlier, and you let me know what you think about it. I was like, I don't even see Jokic playing beyond another 5 seasons in the NBA, bro.
Oh yeah, I think by the time you're 35, you're retiring.
Yeah, I was like
He
35.
ain't 35 max, but I give him Jokic might retire another 3 years. Don't let him win another one. Like if he win another one, I think he'll probably quit. like after the second ring, I
He
think
got
he'll
about three
probably quit.
more seasons then, if that's the case. You know what I mean? Of potential, because Denver definitely needs to revamp this whole team, and they locked themselves into these big ass contracts and kind of fucked themselves up. And so I heard, a bunch of YouTubers who are just like, well, you can't blame Bruce Brown. You trying to tell me that Bruce Brown was that big of a difference, and KCP and like all these guys? It's like, yeah, actually they are. Those guys were a
Right.
big deal to you know what I mean to help the fluidity of their core. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it's about
you need,
basketball IQ.
right.
Like
You
those
need
are high IQ
those players.
guys. At least they understood Denver's offense.
Right.
They understood each other, know how to play with each other. Like that chemistry counted.
Yeah, it matters, man. It matters. And that's the you know what I mean? That's the thing for me. It's like if Denver doesn't make any changes, it really, speaking to, as we're saying, they need to revamp and also how that relates to extending Jokic's career. Like if they don't add anything to this team, Jokic might not make it 2 years. Man, shit got
Yeah,
35. That's crazy.
I think Jamal Murray got one more year before they trade him.
Yeah, it's time for them to shake it up, man. Definitely do some different things. And like I said, but they locked themselves into that super high, those contracts and the salary cap. You know what I mean? And now that the second apron is coming into play and all that stuff, man, they have to do a whole bunch of somethings different. And I don't know what that something is when your team is centered around Jokic. You know what I mean? Like even if you think about the draft picks, the free agencies coming up and how Giannis is this big fish. And I was listening to some folks talk about how it might make sense for Nico to try to go out there and like package the number one pick with Cooper Kupp to get Giannis into Dallas. And I'm like, how many big men can you fucking have on the court and backup positions? Like that just doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all acting like y'all can make Giannis play small forward all of a sudden. This motherfucker's power
Right.
forward size. And so yeah, I don't even really see a place that's a good fit for Giannis, to be honest. I don't see I can't in my mind conceive the perfect scenario for him leaving Milwaukee. Like I don't even know what place it was like, yeah, they have a definite need for Giannis and they could plug him in without having to blow up your whole team and get rid of the folks that will complement him. You know what I'm saying? Like who? What team?
San Antonio.
I'm saying, but San Antonio's gonna have to do the same thing. They'll have to give up some of these young pieces because certainly I'm not gonna take Giannis without being like, yo, I want Stephen Castle. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't get Giannis.
But you can afford to give up Castle because you got De'Aaron.
Yeah,
even though Castle is, the more promising, but De'Aaron is proven, in the sense of, he's a baller. And so you could take that that short term.
Yeah, I agree with that. San Antonio was really decent this year, right? They were a really decent basketball team this year. Prior to Wemby going down, getting hurt, like they were on a trajectory to make the playoffs, possibly, not even just to play in. And so my thing would be like, yo, we're gonna run this back, as opposed to being like, we got a second year with Castle, you know what I'm saying? Like we got a full season and off season with De'Aaron, you know what I mean? Like let's run this back. Let's see what we could do. They're just like blowing it all up and then bringing in Giannis and possibly taking on this like 1 year of how are we going to look with Giannis before, you know what I mean? We can get the rest of the young guys. And I'd rather follow the OKC trajectory and just say, man, even if it takes us time, bro, we're going to build this joint the right way and have players that are, you know what I mean, like developed by us, that are our, you know what I mean, like our guys that understand our system, the way that we want to play. We've gotten them, you know what I mean, up to speed the way that we want them, and not just try to take the shortcut by bringing in Giannis, because I don't think Giannis coming to San Antonio makes them a championship contender next season. So I'm just like, what will be the point? You know what I mean? And that's almost like I'm thinking about
make him a wild card.
Yeah, so
it makes him a wild card for sure.
That's what kind of fucks up with the Giannis thing, period. Because I'm like, where could he fit that would be like, oh, he instantly makes them like a championship outside of like a New York. Giannis to replace a Cat was like, okay, cool. He's going to be more aggressive offensively than Cat. You know he's going to hit them boards. You know he's playing defense. You know what I mean? So outside of something like that, like where would he go that would matter that much?
Yeah, I think for me the only place that makes sense is San Antonio, because it'll complement Wemby's game. It'll allow Wemby to, you know, play on the outside more, you know, to display, you know, that part of his game. Since Giannis, you know, is more of a, you know, mid-range scorer.
Yeah, but Giannis wants to go downhill, you know what I mean, as well. And so that's what I like about, as you say that, that's what I liked about San Antonio this year, is that, especially when they brought in De'Aaron, they were like fast-paced, get up and down and run. And that's probably even before De'Aaron, you know what I mean? But right. De'Aaron brought in more of a guaranteed bucket, you know what I mean, in range, which was good. But it's like, okay, cool, you have now more for sure scoring. Should make the game a little bit easier for Wemby, so that he doesn't have to be relied on so heavily to score, and he can just kind of pick his spots. Now CP can set him up to be, you know what I mean, like to get it how he wants it. And if he's not the sole person scoring, and you have another auxiliary scorer and a guy who's basically played the number one, and De'Aaron Fox, who's not an actual number one, he's a, you know what I mean, 1B somewhere, you know what I mean?
Right.
Style player. Not that he's not a good basketball player, but he's nobody's number one. And yeah, I like what San Antonio already does. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, bringing in a Giannis, to me, would it make sense? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it just wouldn't make sense. So I'm curious to see, man, what this Giannis move is going to be in the offseason. It should be the move of all moves, obviously. But where he ends up, I think it's going to have to be like, or rather, it'll ultimately be some blockbuster 4-team deal where you see somebody like an Embiid's going someplace else too, and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, to start moving some of these huge money contracts just to balance out the second April for teams, man, because that old CBA, you know, that collective bargaining agreement has gotten so many of these overinflated contracts out there. And I'm not saying that these guys shouldn't get their money, man. I'm all for a dude getting his money. But goddamn, bro, it's some horrible fucking contracts on these aging superstars right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's money tied up into these guys that it's impossible for you to build a young team around. And that's why I'm saying with the Giannis move, they brought Giannis in. You're bringing in a big ass contract that's going to prevent you from, you know, then you're going to incur this issue where you're going to eventually have to sign Wemby to some money a few seasons from now, and like all those other young players, and then you tied up all this money into an old motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, bro. It just doesn't. I don't see it benefiting a young team.
Giannis got what, 2 or 3 years left on his contract?
Giannis? Yeah. I think she should have like 3, I believe. Yeah, I believe he should have.
So whoever got him for 3 years at a discount, and they have to pay for, you know, the full contract.
A discount? That contract comes with them. With them. The other team.
I'm saying, you know, for the, you know, the
team
match that he actually signed for when he got the contract. I'm saying it's a discount now because they picking up the contract in year whatever.
Yeah, but that money goes on your books now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I know that.
Yeah, so it's like you're bringing on, man, a huge chunk being taken out of your salary cap. Yes, you know what I mean? Like you said, that apron, that ceiling that they have imposed now. So yeah, it's just a lot of bad money deals out there. Because then bad enough, Chris Paul has already got one where he's gonna be making like $60 million if he opts in this summer. So it's like $60 million fucking dollars for you for CP3. It's like, come on, bro. But keep
Yeah.
Chris Paul was the president of the players union, so they were in there negotiating these bullshit get your money man deals. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't mad at them. Like I said, get your money, but you can see how it's imbalanced what teams have the ability to do in terms of building around you or building with you. You know what I mean? Even in addition to the young boys that are already on their roster, you're basically a lot of these dudes are stuck. These teams are going to be stuck with these dudes because you can't even buy them out. You know what I mean? Like you can't even buy them out. It's too much money.
Yeah.
Like, we'll buy Chris Paul out for $60 million next year. Like what? What? You're gonna pay this man $60 million to get lost? Nobody. You know what I mean? Nobody, bro. So yeah, that's why it's gonna be interesting to see how these dinosaurs' careers play out, man. And here you got LeBron. You know, what did he do? He opts in or has the ability to opt. Or he opted in this past offseason. Or rather, signed a contract. So he has the ability to opt in to like big money for next year or something like that. And it's like same shit. You know what I mean? Same shit.
Yeah.
Like you take like no. I mean, it's not even like, oh man, LeBron should leave LA, get out of LA's way. LA should part ways with him. It's like, who wants to take on that big ass contract? Like nobody. No team is just like, I'll take Braun for a 1 year loan or whatever. It's like, no, you're overpaying this joker, bro. Yeah, it's a
That's
business.
probably what's about to end up happening wherever Bronny about to go. Because I feel like the Lakers really just need to move off of them, like both of them. It's like, man, all right, man, we sending you and your father somewhere, man. who ready? Who want to take them on? Washington, y'all want these two jokers?
Right. That's what it ended up being.
For a year. Y'all want to sell some tickets for a year real quick?
Right. Well, send them motherfuckers to Toronto. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be the only places they could go, bro. They got to go to Portland, fucking Washington. You know what I mean? Like, nowhere else. Detroit's gotten better. They got their core. The Hornets are improving. You know what I mean? With LaMelo down there, they don't want to fuck up that little core, so they're not going to take on no bullshit. It's like Miami ain't taking them back. Cleveland don't want them. They got too much money tied up into their core.
Right.
You know what I mean? And hope that over the next couple of years, they can at least continue to compete for a title potentially. You know what I mean? So, yeah, this is some fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, you got them folks in the headlock.
You know what's crazy is that I said this game was set, bro. I swear they got a time machine, bro. This game was set at 213 and a half. That's 214 points. Now 216. How they be knowing, bro? How they be knowing this shit? That's 218. How they be knowing, bro? I was like, computers and shit. I'm like, nah, bro, they got a fucking time machine, bro. They got a goddamn time machine. But I knew the over was a lot. I didn't think Denver was gonna not compete. It's much like the Boston series, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I expected more of a fight out of them. I guess they did give it their best shot. So all props and credit given to OKC, man, in this one for handling business and taking this game off these boys, man. 93 to 125 is the final here.
125-93. Yeah, without a doubt. Ain't leave no doubt.
Yeah, they the ones, man, for this season. And they've had a remarkable season as well, man. So big props to Oklahoma City, man, for the year that they've had. Man, those boys, they were as advertised this season. You know what I mean? Like, there's no fluff. Cleveland fizzled out there, whereas I thought Cleveland was as advertised. But, you know, they weren't. And for these boys to play the way that they played all season long, to then make a push against the Cleveland record, being OKC to finish as the number one overall best team in the league record wise, with their point differential and PE, all this other records, stats that they led the league in. Man, I'm like, these dudes, man, are one hell of a year, man. Yeah, one hell of a year.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to tell you though, don't be surprised, man. Chat for Giannis, chatting some picks, man. If Chat go out there, stink up next round, do they still make it to the finals? Stink up the finals.
That'd be wild. That would be wild. I would
They
definitely
stink up the finals and they lose.
Yeah,
man, they gonna trade that, man. It's gonna be the whole. It's gonna be sports talk of the whole summer. Chat Holmgren, last couple of rounds of the playoffs, he was non-existent. No.
Yeah, man. I would be mad, to be honest. I would be mad, bro. I would be really upset to see that go down like that. But yeah, it would have to be Minnesota just beating the shit out of these people in this, because nobody from the East should beat Oklahoma City. And again, I feel like I favor them over Minnesota just based on how they're structured. So a loss either in the Western Conference Finals or in the finals could, be the impetus for them to be like, all right, man, we need to move off some of these guys or whatever. But I would be upset about it. I would not even pretend that I would be cool with that or be excited about wherever, you know what I mean? Like, oh, Giannis will OKC next year. Like, I'd be fucked up, man. Like, why would they do that, bro? Like, because it's almost like that will be the equivalent. I feel like it's a move to shore up a weakness on your team and to strengthen your team. Sure. But I feel like it still follows the super team trajectory almost, bro. And I just don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm over that shit. I'm tired of it. I just want to see that whole era, that whole mentality of super team shit go away, bro. Like, go away already. Get the fuck on with that shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, they beat the shit out of these boys, and you were right. You did say, man, this one had the potential to get out of control early, man, and possibly have you in a position to be like, man, I need to turn this shit off and find something else to do today. And I was like, yeah, but I'm like, I'm hoping that it don't. And yeah, I guess we were both in our fields hoping that Denver will pull it off, just wanting to see or live through like this storybook kind of Cinderella, bit of a storyline that will play out, you know what I mean, from them making it. But I'm still, either way, on either side, I'm still cool with SGA and them doing it because they've had such a remarkable season. You know what I mean? That I'm still cool. I mean, I'm beyond cool. Yeah, I'm beyond.
Definitely excited about the next series for sure.
Yeah,
I want to see these two young dudes go at it. Like you said, it's time to turn the page, get the next era of the league started, and these two dudes basically represent that. Shea and Ant. Even though like you said, Jokic just still 30, but he ain't going, like we discussed, we don't believe he's gonna play that much longer. Like I don't think he's one of these guys that just want to, become a off the bench player.
Right.
As he just starts to decline, he want to, compete. If he
Yeah,
can't compete how he want to compete, he gonna roll out.
Yeah, I feel like with his lack of, I mean, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't say conditioning, because man, to be able to get all of the, you know what I mean, that height and weight up and down the court repeatedly, you know what I mean, for 82 games or whatever the amount of games that he plays, and the amount of minutes, extreme amount of minutes that he plays as well, is a lot, which makes me think he's going to end up being like most bigs, who end up, succumbing to a bunch of lower extremity injuries, like back, wheels, etc. And so that's gonna, once hampered by too many of that bone spurs in his ankles, or you know what I mean, like
Right.
bad sore back, you know what I mean? All that's just he'll walk away. He's just like, man, you know what? I'm done. He's not gonna be a Sabonis out there. You know what I mean? Like into your 40s and shit. Like the fuck for what? Like
Right.
no,
Right.
no. This dude's already someone just wanting to race his horses and like do all of that stuff, man. So I think that's a wrap. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for joining the stream, man. Oklahoma City advances to the Western Conference Finals, 93-125 victory over, or 125-93 victory, better stated, over the Denver Nuggets. I will get
Yeah.
all that shit, but it's mood at this point, man. If you watch that slaughter, it is what it is. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander walked out 35 of them, showed improved, man. This year's MVP, led his team, through and through, man, all the way to the Western Conference Finals, man. So, yeah, shout out to those guys. Big game for them offensively and defensively, especially defensively, the tenacity on defense. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing versus Minnesota coming up in this Western Conference Finals, man. Any parting words, closing words?
I guess preview a next matchup. I'm definitely I want to see, outside of Ann and Shay, I'm excited to see the battle of the bigs. You're gonna have Rudy versus Harkenstein, and you got Julius Randle and versus Chet. But then you also got Nas Reed coming off the bench as well, and he like a power forward, in height, but he kind of more so play like a 3. But I think he can also provide some good interior score in this round, because I think that's what they're going to need. So I'm definitely excited to see how Minnesota handles this game offensively from those two positions outside of Shea and Ant.
Yeah. Jay McDaniels, doesn't quite cancel out by any stretch of the imagination J-Dub, but offensive output wise, certainly Julius Randle, is more of a bucket, or I guess they would essentially be even match J-Dub and Julius Randle in terms of point production. Shea and Ant, will be even, kind of cancel out sort of a thing.
Right.
They need big production from Rudy, somehow to come in and at least give what Hartenstein is given. So that's not too big of a stretch. I think Hartenstein will be more of an active offensive player. Chet then creates the bit of a kind of like, what the fuck? How do you, how do you account for it? So if Chet has an amazing series, I think that'll be the thing, because Lou Dort and damn, you just said his name, coming off the bench for Minnesota.
Nas Reed.
And Nas Reed, they basically will cancel each other out. Yeah, man, the rest will be like the Donche DiVincenzo's and like these guys and Caruso, and kind of how they all match up and kind of what they bring. But this is one of those series that definitely stands or leaves the door open to be this was the Nas Reed game, the Lou Dort game, the Jaden McDaniels game, the what I mean, like the
right.
auxiliaries. Casey Wallace and those guys have been playing really good coming in off the bench. So Aaron Wiggins has been playing super good. So yeah, it's just that, again, I just feel like Oklahoma City's a deeper team. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the series, man. I can't wait to tune in. Just kind of see how things go, man. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then,
what game that? What day that series start? Thursday.
The what?
That series start Thursday, I think, because the Eastern Conference round starts Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I
so
saw
that game Thursday.
I definitely wanted to take a look at that really quick here. So T-Wolves Thunder start Tuesday.
Oh, so they start, yeah. So they got a shorter time.
Yeah, because it took them longer to get it done. Yep. Yeah, which is kind of weird. Like I said, man, I can remember the days of the 40 games and 40 nights. Like, man, look, it's up to you. Close these out as fast as you can. Break. If you don't get a break, you don't get a break.
Right.
there was no basketball on yesterday, no playoff basketball yesterday, and there's none tomorrow. That's really fucking strange.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Winding down, man. We getting to the wind down.
yeah. I mean, this is the NBA's, the proverbial 4x4, Final Four rather. So Pacers Knicks series, man. Preview that one real quick. We get out of here. What are your thoughts?
Man, I'm early prediction. I'm taking the Pacers. They've just been the more consistent team so far throughout the playoffs. I really don't like the way Cat just plays basketball. And the deeper they get into the playoffs, like his style of basketball drives me crazy. So I think if he tries to be more of a shooter next round, is going to hurt him. Because the playoffs is just different basketball. Like he gotta, it's situational basketball more so than what I can do this basketball. So I'm taking the Pacers just based off that. I don't trust Cat. I'm taking the Pacers.
We'll see again, as I was talking about players canceling out players, man. So Cat and Miles Turner are the same player, except the edge will go to Cat if I had to take one of them. I had to be forced to take one of them. I like when Miles Turner is playing, back to the basket or, just playing closer to the basket, just like I like when Cat is playing closer to the basket. And so both of them have this propensity to fall in love with shooting jump shots or hang around out around the perimeter. And I get high screen and rolls. I get the brush screen. You know what I mean? Like pick and roll kind of actions that can be run for a player, run with them in the offense. But bro, the way they fall in love with just staying out there on the perimeter pisses me off. It really drives me crazy. So I like to see either or both of them. I actually like to see both of them get nasty on the inside against each other, bro, because I think that would be a really compelling matchup to watch. Cat's got a deeper bag offensively, so I think that will be true. It will go to Cat, but it will be good to see them both at least play inside where big men are not supposed to play, but just where they both have the skill set to play. The Pacers, true to their name, are upbeat, up tempo, and they just like to get out and set the pace and to run. New York, it's not that New York cannot run with them, so I expect this to be a high scoring series. You know what I mean, with little defense being played, and because of that, when you got like your Ben Mathurin's coming in off the bench who a bona fide bucket. Aaron Nemhart's been playing good. So has Andrew. Andrew. Yeah, Andrew Nemhart. Aaron Neesmith. Andrew Nemhart. Yeah. So they playing really good, really well. But I think offensively, because of Mikal Bridges, because of Brunson, obviously, OG Anunoby is like really, really gifted basketball player, man, who's really been kind of surprising me with his offensive consistency. So I think that, OG Pascal matchup should be a really good one. And
definitely former teammate storyline, championship teammates.
Yeah. TJ McConnell coming off the bench for Indiana. I'm a huge TJ guy. I love TJ McConnell, man. I just like that high release. You know what I'm saying? that super high release, man. Him and Mikal Bridges added it in the off season. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a really good series, man. I had an argument last Sunday, and we'll get out of here, with my buddies in group chat, because I was saying, bro, I had this take. What do y'all think about it? I said, Brunson is the best point guard in the league. And, so, we get into this whole back and forth, me and the homie Pierre. And he was saying, basically in summation, as we ultimately got to the end of it, was that there are no more pure point guards in the league. And if there was a pure point guard in the league, it would be Halliburton. So Halliburton's better than Brunson. And I was like, Halliburton's not better than Brunson. I don't give a fuck. Pure point guard. I don't care what kind of an extra title you put on point guard. Well, Shea's better than him. I was like, Shea's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard. Playing point guard this season because Giddey's gone. And so the best point guard in the league, I say, is Jalen Brunson. But as fate would have it, man, we get a chance to see both Brunson and Halliburton square off against each other. And so this is going to be a really, really good Eastern Conference Finals and Western Conference Finals, man. Like I said, I'm excited, bro.
Yeah, and I think this round for Halliburton will be his moment, because Jalen Brunson gonna come out there, he try and drop 40 on you, So if Tyrese can't, at least like he don't have to match him point for point, but he gotta, match him, punch for punch.
Yeah.
So this is, this will be Tyrese Halliburton's, defining moment. I think I heard that Tyrese Halliburton was voted, by his peers the most overrated in the league. So this will be, a time to prove like, oh no, y'all think I'm overrated, huh? Yeah, I just beat the most clutch, the person voted the most clutch player, in the entire league. Like, overrate that. And I'm going to the finals. Like,
you saw his tweet out after he hit the game winner, and after he hit the game winning 3, he tweeted like, overrate these nuts. Yeah. I think it definitely is a sound for him, like you said, man, to take the bull by the horns and to I guess get his damn respect too, like LeBron said he wanted, years ago after they won a championship. But bro, I think for Halliburton to do exactly what you said, meaning to slay the dragon that is New York, because it would be a slaying of a dragon. You know what I mean? Like, it will be big for him to get his team to the finals, because that's still another compelling storyline, I feel like, because they came out and struggled so mightily to start this season, bro. They were struggling, bro. I did a struggle and put them on it. Them, the Denver, fucking Giannis and the Bucks, and also Embiid, or the Embiid less Philadelphia at the time.
Yeah.
And so, for them to come out of that struggle situation, man, and make it to the Eastern Conference Finals is powerful. And also, because like I said earlier, if there ever was an underdog, I mean, it doesn't matter who they match up against, Indiana's going to be the underdog in the, you know what I mean? Like, if they are to make it. And so Halliburton did not play in the Olympics last season, even though he was on the team. And so for him, man, to be like, I was Olympian, basically ain't getting no playing time. Came out this year, we started slow, man. Wasn't nothing expected from us. Everybody wrote us off for dead. Man, we made it all the way through the playoffs, slaughtering motherfuckers. We knocked off Cleveland. We knocked off Brunson and them. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that would be. Then we knocked off, whomever from
knocked off Giannis.
Yeah,
Giannis and Dame, even though Dame got hurt, but knocked them off too.
First, knocked off Giannis, then knocked off Cleveland. And then so to be able to knock off New York as well, that's still a really dope run. But to make the finals and win it, though, man, that would be crazy for Indiana. That would be insane. Yeah, Halliburton would definitely be the most confusing. He'd be the most ambiguous. It will be more confusing to have to give Halliburton his props than it was like trying to decide who was better last year. Like, should we still continue to say it's JT, even though JB won the Finals MVP?
Right.
It would be more of a confusing kind of a thing.
Sort of a surreal, like, this really happening?
Happening right now, bro. We got to be like, Halliburton led his team to the respectfully, but still it would be kind of weird, man, because it's not done in the traditional sense of like the thought of like point guards lead, point guards don't lead teams to championships anymore without being a 20-point, 25-point a game score. You know what I mean? Like over 20 when I say 20. And Halliburton's not that. This dude don't average. This dude, what was his season average? As a matter of fact, just look at that. I'd be like, what the fuck was that on the season for this guy? Halliburton wasn't even. Let me see stats. Halliburton averaged 17.5 points a game. So he's, you know what I mean? Like, which is, he's a point guard. He averages 17, almost 18 points a game and 9 assists. It's like, that's a true point guard. He's like, yeah, that's beautiful, but you don't expect those guys to lead a test. Being like, Mark Jackson led the Indiana Pacers to the championship. It's like, what? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, like I said, man, I appreciate you for, jumping in, man, on the stream today. Man, joined by my little brother IQ, blood brother, kid brother. Yeah. Hey, I got that I got that channel set aside for you too, man, to make basketball great again, man. I locked it in.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna get to it. Probably pick up in the off season or something, man. Doing these reports, make an
Yeah.
introduction that way.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do to ramp up to it, man. So your Giannis predictions and all that stuff that you're making now, man, you may as well get ready to get that heated up in the off season, and so that way you could be like, man, I called it to get you ramped up into
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love you, bro. I appreciate you, man. I'll catch you on I'll call you obviously between
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, we definitely gonna talk.
Yeah. Hope you
Yeah,
get
love you too, bro.
yeah. Tell the girls I say hey, man.
Will do. Later.
All right, bro. All right, blessings. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next episode, man. Blessings to you. Live stream's been a whole lot of fun. Once again, the Oklahoma City slay the Denver Nuggets 125-93. Really entertaining game, man. So I'm gonna get off the stream now. I will catch you guys in the next episode. I don't even know that I have the energy to do a recap of this particular episode. I did post one earlier today. I'm kind of preemptively knowing that Giannis, or feeling like Giannis, we were just talking about Giannis, but feeling like Jokic, could possibly not be newsworthy after, this game. And so since Oklahoma City slaughtered him, I wanted to give him his flowers just by saying that he is, or, was prior to this game, leading the NBA playoffs in 4 different statistical categories. And so got that one up, talked about, the prelude, to this game. They got us into this game. So I won't do a recap of this game since I did this live. But what I will do is I will do a Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals and an Eastern Conference Finals preview episode, which I will get up more than likely tomorrow, since Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals takes place on Tuesday, and Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals takes place on Monday, man. So if you're watching the stream still, if you're looking at the playback, man, stay tuned for those episodes. And let me know what you think about my new layout. I tried it out here on this live and also on the most recent episode, trying to change things up, man, since my background changed from white to blue. Just trying to kind of a little change of pace, man. 8 months the same way. Just wanted to add a little bit more flavor to it. I will definitely catch you guys in the next episode, man. Until then, take care of yourselves. Blessings.